Hey friend. Today's topic is your resume. More specifically, something nobody ever tells you or that you never know. Who actually reviews your resume after you send it? For how long and how? You spent hours preparing that resume. You edited every sentence, read every word over and over. But here's the truth. Most of the time, a decision about your resume gets made long before it's actually read. How packed a resume is doesn't mean anything when it's being reviewed. Saying the right thing in the right place matters more. Your resume shouldn't be overly complicated, it should be readable. It needs to have parts that immediately catch the eye and grab attention at first glance. I'm the auditor. I've been inside HR for 6 years. I've had to filter through hundreds of resumes, and today I'm telling you what actually gets looked at in those first few seconds, which signals make a candidate stand out, and which ones get them eliminated instantly. This isn't a motivational video, this is an audit report. Today, I'm telling you how a resume actually gets read on the other side of the table. Rule 1. In the first 6 seconds, only 3 things get looked at. When a resume gets opened, there's no detailed reading in those first seconds. The eye goes directly to 3 points: your most recent company, your most recent title, and how long you worked there. Everything else only gets read if these 3 things look interesting enough. Let me tell you about something I remember. One day I was reviewing 2 resumes that came in for a position. One candidate had graduated successfully from a very prestigious university and had worked at major companies, but they must have trusted those achievements so much that they didn't put much care into their resume. They filled it with such a complicated resume that at first glance it overwhelmed you and pushed you to move on without bothering to review it. The person behind the other resume had graduated from an average university and worked at a few companies, but they had prepared their resume so well that the moment you picked it up, the qualities being sought immediately jumped out and sparked curiosity. They had marketed themselves beautifully. The first resume got set aside without being reviewed, while the second resume was found suitable for the job and got hired. Practical takeaway: these 3 pieces of information need to sit at the very top of your resume in the clearest way possible. If you make someone search for them, you lose them within those 6 seconds. Rule 2. Most resumes get filtered out by software before they ever reach a human eye. The majority of companies first run incoming resumes through a tracking system, ATS. This system matches the keywords in the job posting with the keywords in your resume. If there isn't enough of a match, your resume never reaches a human hand at all. That's why paying attention to what's written in the job posting matters far more than just writing a creative resume. Using the same words from the posting, the role name, technical competencies, in your own resume is what gets you past this first filter. It makes more sense to prepare a resume tailored to each posting. A generic resume can fall short. Rule 3. It's not tasks that catch attention, it's results. There's a huge gap between I managed a team and I managed a team of 8 people and increased annual efficiency by 20%. The first is a task description. The second is a result. HR doesn't look for lists of tasks. It looks for concrete results, because a result shows not what you did in the past, but what you're capable of doing in the future. While reviewing resumes for a shipping supervisor position, one candidate had written that they were a team lead at their previous company. When we found them suitable and called them in for an interview, we realised that the team they meant was themselves and one co-worker. Because they were the more senior one, they'd been given the responsibility, so they wrote, "I manage a team." Of course they weren't hired, but it was a waste of our time, and after that, resumes without numbers and details specified got eliminated immediately. Rule 4. When gaps aren't explained, the worst case scenario gets assumed. If there's a date gap in your resume and you've never explained it, HR doesn't fill that gap with something positive. They usually assume the most likely, most ordinary explanation, and most of the time that doesn't work in your favour. Even filling that gap with a short sentence, something like "I focused on a certification program during this period," is far better than leaving it completely blank. Rule 5. Too much design makes a resume harder to read and reduces trust. A very colourful, very graphic-heavy, non-standard format is sometimes chosen to look creative. But remember that HR is mostly scanning within seconds. The eye doesn't know what to look for in an unfamiliar layout. A simple, clear, easily scannable format is always stronger than a complicated design. Rule 6. A recognised company or school name instantly creates a bias. A name that spent time at a well-known company or school automatically creates a trust score in HR's eyes. It's not fair, but it's real. This doesn't mean someone without these names has no chance. It means the other parts of the resume, especially the result-driven sentences, need to fill that nameless gap. This is exactly why references are so important. Not references from unimportant people, but the names of people who genuinely know and can vouch for you should be on your resume. Rule 7. A resume should tell a story, not be a list. The strongest resumes don't tell a scattered list of tasks. They tell a coherent career story, where you started, how you grew, why this role makes sense now. HR doesn't just look at what has this person done, it also looks at where is this person's story heading. Which of these 7 rules surprised you the most? Write it in the comments. Every week on this channel, we talk about how to protect your career with real observations from inside HR. No exaggeration, no fluff. Subscribe, because in the next audit report, I'm covering how AI is changing HR's hiring decisions and what that means for your career.